Well, I think that's pretty obvious. I think that, the central banks have, and I've been telling people this for I don't know how many freaking years, they want to be the controlling body of the world. We're seeing this more and more. They want to continue to inflate. They're pulling the strings here. They are the one world government we were all told about. We have no representation anymore whatsoever. That's how that's going to play out. I think it's going to get monumentally worse as central banks consolidate their power. That's what they're doing right now. This is a consolidation of power. The real war is them. Their war is against all of us. If we can get rid of these institutions, which it's impossible to do at this point, they become too strong, they become too powerful, and they'll kill anyone they have to. They have the United States military backs the Federal Reserve in its entirety, including its military arsenal. They will point that weapon at anyone. They will even point it internally just to make sure they are in full control. They will never give up that power. And now we've seen, obviously, with COVID, we've seen U.S. small businesses get all but wiped out. Corporate America is stronger than it's ever been. Sure, the stock market's down. We have the Dow down about 11% off an all-time high. We got the S&P 500 about 14%. NASDAQ got hit the worst at 20%. All right, but still, we're not far off here. And if this really does play out like I believe it will, life is going to get a lot harder for people. I've been telling people to expect surge inflation to continue to surge. I said several months ago we were going to get a big tsunami of it. Well, it's here now. And I don't think we've seen anything yet at all. We just found out just this past February, global food prices hit their highest in record, 20.7% year over year. With regard to crude oil, we hit the high end of my target recently, which was 125. We surged past that to 137. Just last night, we came back down a little bit. I think crude is going much higher. As a matter of fact, there's all this talk on Wall Street right now about a commodity super spike. Crude oil going to $250, $300 a barrel. Commodities continue to rage. And I mean, for people, I mean, look, the lie has been for a very long time that the inflation is transitory. We heard that out of the mouth of Jay Powell and a lot of other central bankers here. You and I think the people that follow our work realize that was just a lie. It was a distraction. Okay, don't worry about it. It's going to be transitory. They missed their target by hundreds and hundreds of percent. What are we at? 7.5%? That's what they're telling us. Their target is 2%. Now, seeing what's happening here with commodities going crazy, well, it's always a distraction mechanism. They never want people to look at what they should be looking at. It's always, ignore that. Let's look over here. I mean, just as an example right now, I mean, we're hearing it everywhere. We understand that we are seeing inflation surge at its literally fastest pace ever in history here in the United States. And we have central bankers. What are they doing? They're pointing, it's the war. It's energy. They're distracting you. They can't be blamed. They will never be blamed. You will never hear any world leader, I don't care who they are, point their finger at a central bank saying, well, it's the fact that, they're printing cash out of a thin air in greater and greater amounts. They're buying assets at a historic pace. That's not the problem. It's this or it's something else. And with going back to the whole crisis to crisis thing, I'm really happy that John referred to that, because I've been telling people this. Yes, it's a crisis to crisis mechanism, and that's how it's always going to be. It's amazing how they set these things up. They must do this in order to get the public behind it. If you don't support this new crisis, well, you're not a patriot. If you don't support the fact that we're sending hundreds of billions of dollars towards this cause or towards that cause, well, it's an emergency, and if you're not getting behind it, you're a bad person. But that's what they do. They drag the public along. They allow these crises to manifest themselves, and then they prolong them. That's really the key. Look at the last one, COVID. I mean, it was prolonged and stretched out and drawn out. The initial narrative behind that was, you don't need to wear a mask. It's not going to help you. And then, of course, those same people changed their tune when they would say, no, don't say that. Make sure you're telling everyone they better wear that mask because it is going to help them. And with the current situation here, as soon as that started to wane, we saw it in the news. Numbers are dropping, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, bam, you got this thing over here, Russia, Ukraine. And now there's even talk. Just today, I'm sitting here and I'm watching, the mainstream channels, and there's like, this could drag out for years. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to drag this out because, see, a crisis not only forces the people to get behind it. It gives puppet governments a blank check. They can, for any amount, because you got to support the emergency. You have to get behind it. And the longer they can keep these things going, the more cash can be pulled from the future. That's what this is really all about. I have told people on my blog, probably on your channel too, we're going to see things that we can't believe moving forward. They're going to throw things at us that are going to astound and shock all of us. I've been telling people to be ready, have the high ground, be ready for anything for years. I told people that the system, the debt-based economic model, the people that run it, the central banks, will kill, maim, slaughter as many people as they have to, millions of people, just to keep the system going. It's all about relentless debt. Central banks will never give up that power. The more they can inflate, the stronger they become every single day exponentially. And that's the situation. And we're going to see another crisis. They're already talking about food shortages, energy shortages, all kinds of things to get people worried. And it's probably going to happen. They're going to set it up, whatever they have to do. I think the real decision right now that they're trying to, it's already figured out, but what we need to figure out is how much is this war going to expand? Is it going to be beyond Ukrainian borders, or they're already talking about a cyber war, which could be pretty ugly between Russia and the United States. I mean, that's an expansion of a war. Is it going to go on outside the Ukrainian borders? I don't know. Well, I guess that's really up to them. It's up to the central bankers. It's up to the debt-based system where they want this to go. War, the propagation of war, weapons, generates more cash for corporations and central banks than any other endeavor, period, the freaking end. So they will milk this for all it's worth and then some.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.